Hi Aquarius, welcome to your Their Next Move reading for July 2020. Everything you need to know about this reading is in the description box below. This may resonate with yours or their moon, rising, or Venus sign also. I did it this way because I hurt my hand and I would have had to, kind of show it. It's unsightly. I can't put a bandage on it because I did that. And when I went to redress it and change the bandage, I was back to square zero. Basically, it undid the healing of the past couple of days because everything came off with the bandage. So that was fun. So there it is. It's gross. I poured boiling water on my hand on accident. My eyes water. Sometimes I can't see very well. And my glasses, I was getting new glasses because they were going to change like the progressive, the horizon line and all that. And so instead of setting everything down and wiping your eyes and doing whatever, I just was like, oh, whatever. And because of that, it blurred my vision, and I missed the cup when I was going to pour the boiling tea water in, and the weird thing is that I was actually proud that I didn't drop anything. I was like, oh, see how I'm so tough, I didn't even drop anything, but I'm like, ow, 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 ow. So, silly, whatever. But, so anyway, the best course of action is for me to let it air out and heal and do its thing, because bandages were not working. So it's just unsightly, and I can sit here and shuffle these and lay them out, but I couldn't with the other. So you might see me like do this, or I just don't want to show it yet because I feel like and I can't cover it up. So anyway, okay, so we have the sun here. That could be Leo. We have the Magician, Gemini, Virgo, or Aries. Seven of Pentacles, Four of Swords, the Devil, that's Capricorn, and Eight of Wands. And I put it down here because if I put it up here, oh no, is it this one? No, where is it? Yes, see, the glare, you can't see it, so I moved them down here. Okay, all right. What's this Magician about for? I feel like it needs to be straighter for Aquarius. That's not straight at all. See? Two-handed, I'd be fine with this. I can't do it one-handed. Well, it's hard. What's this Magician about for Aquarius? Seven of Wands. All right. Seven of Wands. What's this? Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles for Aquarius. The Hanged Man. That could be Pisces. Okay. What's this Four of Swords? I feel like they're not budging, and they want you to make the sacrifice. They want you to capitulate. They want you to back down. You're like, I got all the time in the world. I'm not budging. But it's not going to stop them from trying. Like this kind of could be, not saying it is, but it could be somebody kind of throwing a snit, kind of throwing a temper tantrum, that they want it their way, right? And you're just like, go ahead, I'll wait till you're finished. It could be that, but this is someone that's kind of waiting to see what you do because they're not changing their position on things. And this is showing up a lot. Like someone's not gonna do what they want you to do. They're not going to give in. They're not going to change their position. What's this? Oh boy. What's this Devil about here? Yeah, they're going to kind of dig their heels in. So it feels like they're wanting you to make the effort because they're going to be digging their heels in. They're ready to for this to be done with. Whatever impasse you two are at, they're ready to be done with it, but they are not going to do anything about that. What's this Eight of Wands? Or are they? What's this Eight of Wands? Strength card. All right, that could be, whoopsie, that could be Leo. So it feels like this is somebody that's you might be dealing with somebody that's very dynamic, kind of does a lot of things spontaneously, and they might be a lot of fun, but the downside of that is that there's not a lot of accountability there, because this is somebody who just, get on my wavelength or whatever you want to call it. And so there's not a lot of stability here. It's like they want things their way, but then they don't know what to do with it once they get it that way. And I think you know that. We got 2 8s here. It's interesting. What's this devil about? What's this devil about for Aquarius? I think they're ready for things to be done with justice. They're ready for things to be done and over with, but at the same time, they're not done with the situation. That was 9 of Wands. They're not done with the situation. They're just ready to move on from the drama because they want everything to go back to the way it was. They're tired of having to be stubborn about something because they're getting bored with that position on things. It's this 8 of Wands and Strength card about. Oopsie. Yeah. Okay, because I was like, it feels like they're going to want to implement changes that are going to be, like they're trying to improve themselves, but it feels like that might not stick because you're dealing with somebody who they feel restless, they feel very dynamic, they feel like they're at their best when they're in the middle of like 5 things. And they're able to handle it, but they don't handle the quiet and the stable very well. So that they're just really restless, and they like things to be moving forward, and they like to have their way because it changes so often. They want to be in charge of things because that's when then they can control it, because they're not in charge of their own life enough to be comfortable with somebody else having boundaries. Because it's kind of like a house of cards, and so they're constantly having to, and they need. I think a relationship to them is also support. It offers support, or they want support in a relationship because they never know what's going to happen to them. They never know what they're going to feel like doing next. They never know what they're going to get involved in next, and they want everybody at the ready, that sort of thing. So they're at their best when they're in control and they're managing everything. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the best for the relationship, obviously. So you're not really into that. You don't plan on changing anything. You've got this sort of calm, serene awareness about it all. I think you're going to get some promises. I think you're going to also be strategically told or informed about changes that they're making. Perhaps even them reaching out, hey, just wanted to see how you're doing. And you're like, oh, I'm good. I'm always good. I'm good. So because I think they're kind of over them having to, they're kind of over whatever snit or tantrum they had without being disrespectful there. But I don't think you're into it. I think you might listen and hear what they have to say, and good for them for wanting to make those changes and get their life back on track and to try and do right. But it's the excitement and the novelty of that idea more so than the idea itself. Because when you want to make changes in your life, that's an undertaking. And it's sustained, consistent effort, and it's unpredictable, and you really have to be committed to the outcome, or at least, the mission. And this is not someone that does that well. So they are bored with the silence and the distance, or the breakup, or the, whatever you want to call it, separation. So they're probably their next move is going to be, hey, reaching out again. Maybe they'll say they're sorry, going to kind of put their feelers out to see, because this is them returning to maybe an old dynamic. I think there might be a message or letting you know that, hey, I plan on making some changes, or, promises of improvement and whatnot. And your position, from what's showing here, is that you're like, well, that's great, good for you. But I think you're kind of over it. I don't know. It might be that you're just like, hey, great to hear from you, or whatnot. And there's that catching up period. I just don't think you're as invested in it. Or maybe you are, but you're guarded. You're like, okay, well, let's see action behind that, or let's play it out. Let's see how this goes. But I think you've kind of been through it. I think you know this personality type. And I don't think you're willing to go past a certain point because of the volatility, or just because you know that this person kind of likes to have their own way and they want to be in charge, only they don't know what they're doing once they get in charge. And it's kind of like, you're like, I got this. I also got other things. So if we're not going to come to agreement, it's never going to get past a certain point with me, because I've got a business to run, or I've got a household to run, or I've got other things going on than just this relationship. And I can't have it kind of take over my life. You know what I mean? And this is someone that's kind of like, that wants to sort of, for it to be that type of relationship, but they can't sustain it. So expect to hear promises, expect to hear an intent to work things out. And they might believe it, because this person is pretty dynamic. I mean, bless them. They might believe that they might believe what they're saying. It's just that it's difficult for them to sustain it, and they're getting restless, and you're somebody that they always kind of find their way back to. For the Aquarians that I'm reading for, you might even be looking at them with fondness, like, oh yeah, how you doing? How's it going? How's that thing going that you started? And they're just like, well, why don't we meet for such and such and talk about it? Although maybe not now, because everything's closing down again. But yeah, just they're gonna be reaching back out to work, to let you know somehow that they're doing good, they're doing better, they want to do this, their plans for the future, and they might be testing the waters to see what your buy-in is. This is someone, for the Aquarians I'm reading for, this might be someone you're on friendly terms with, or you kind of, at one time it was a lot more than it is now, or the potential for it. You have it in perspective. You're not mad about it, you're not angry. But this is someone that would be reaching out to kind of test some feelers, whereas you're just like, oh yeah, how you doing? But it doesn't mean that to you. It does to them, but not to you. They haven't really grown yet. They might have done a lot of things since, but there hasn't been a lot of growth since you've been involved with them. So they're doing stuff, they're doing lots of stuff, but maybe they probably haven't grown very much, because this is not someone that's kind of stops and is willing to look at things. They get restless, they get bored, they don't like the silence. So, my shoe under there, lost my shoe, wrong foot. So, it doesn't have to be a bad thing per se. I feel like they're putting feelers out though. And it's thankfully you have it in perspective, and you're not really buying what they're selling. You got your eyes open. So, yeah. You're not waiting to hear from them. You're good with or without their correspondence, without them coming back. That's for Aquarius. King of Coins. Yay. Okay, you could be dealing with a Virgo, Aquarius. If it's not that, this is you happy doing your own thing. This is you in a very secure position. You don't need anyone or anything. You've got your own thing going. So it kind of might be a welcome, fun thing to hear from them again, because you're kind of over whatever you got, whatever happened between you. You're over it. You moved on. You get it. It's almost like you're looking at them like a little sibling, or like a blast from the past, but you're not. You're on to other things. I think there's still something there for them with you. But I feel like you've got it in perspective, and your focus is self-sustainability, longevity with money, security, all of that. What else for Aquarius? Everlasting life. Well, that speaks to the bond. This very well could be too they kind of feel like there's this unbreakable bond between you. That's why they keep returning, or that's why they're kind of sniffing around again. I think for this right here, it feels like you might have sensed this relationship coming full circle. You're kind of changed, and it's for the better, because you kind of renewed your spirituality. You kind of found yourself after dealing with this person. And so it's almost like you're choosing that over shenanigans, and that you've leveled up. Basically, you're better for this relationship. Not that it was easy or fun, but coming full circle, you've moved on, you're good. Things are happening for you, you're making your own luck, you're secure, that's where your focus is. And it's like renewable energy, because you're relying on yourself, and you're like, this is so cool, like I'm in a really good period right now, and I don't want anything to rock the boat. Like I'm dialed in, I'm going, I'm on fire. And so I think that's why you have the disposition or the attitude you have when you hear from them again. And so this is you've stumbled onto something that's really working for you, and you're not wanting to deviate from that. You're feeling like you found your purpose. There's some sort of sustainability. It's really gratifying for you with whatever you're doing. And this relationship is not it. This is one part of your life for you, but you've moved on, you're doing other things. For the person coming back in, they're sniffing around. They're wanting to see. So I'll leave it at that, because I could keep going. Everybody knows I could keep going. All right. Okay. For Aquarius. Do it this way, because I don't want you to see my ugly fingers. This way, please. Okay. There's that lion again. Could be Leo. Aries. So this could be Queen of Wands reversed, and then we've got Leo right here. Strength halfwaysies. So we've got, could be a diva situation here. Could be someone wanting what they want, when they want it, how they want it, and they're not budging until they do, because then they get bored. And you're like, what are you doing? You again? What? So this is someone that wants to make changes, wants to do the right thing. The intent's there. They believe themselves when they're on that, and then when they're in that beginner mind idea stage, they just can't sustain it. And you realize that this is somebody that's just kind of really, volatile, and you're like, I'm not going to attach anything to that, but it's good to hear from you. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. But you've got this in perspective. Your priorities lie elsewhere. You're really not wanting anything. You're doing something that you're really feeling connected to and passionate about. And that's your new focus. You are kind of still their focus. So, but then they'll flitter over here, and they'll flitter over there, and then they'll come back. That's a new word, flitter. All right. And yeah, no. This is someone that tries, but they can't sustain it. And there's a volatility there. So, all right. I'm stopping here. I hope this was helpful, Aquarius. I hope to see you in the next reading. And much love to you this July. Okay. All right. You take care.